guys, this is John Watts. I'm a consumer protection lawyer, and I want to talk to you about, is it right, is it proper to sue a debt collector who breaks the law? Maybe it's the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, the FDCPA, or the FCRA, Fair Credit Reporting Act. When they break the law, is it right for you to sue them? Because I have people come up to me, maybe they're all from the collection industry, I don't know, but they say, hey, don't you think it's wrong to sue a debt collector if you owe money? And my response is no. If they violate the law, I think it's perfectly appropriate to sue them. And they go, but John, your client owes money. You shouldn't be able to sue just because we break the law. I said, well, let's explore that a little bit. Now, I've used this example before because there is no response to it. Okay. If I owe you money and you kick down my door and you take a baseball bat to my knees, well, I owe the money, so everything's fair. You can kidnap my family, you can blow up my house. Like, where do we stop? They go, well, John, not criminal acts. Okay. Well, can you cuss me out? Can you put up a billboard that says John's a loser and owes money? They're like, well, no, that's too extreme. So, well, can you sue me when I really do not owe you the money? Or can you credit report? Let's say I owe you $5,000 and you put on the credit report, I owe you $55,000. And they'll go, well, no, that's too far. So what they're really saying is, like a little violation of the law, whatever they decide is little, it's kind of like surgery. What's minor surgery? That's surgery happening to somebody else, right? It's never minor surgery with us. But what they're saying is, it's okay if it's like a little bit of a violation. So what they're really saying is, we think, here's the FDCPA, all right? Here are the boundaries. They go, well, really, we think it ought to be more like this. Now, see, this, if you go beyond this, now you've broken the law. Now you should be sued, okay? So I can't remember if I've told this story or not on a video, but years ago, this is like 2003 maybe, I get this call from a collection lawyer. I'm like, okay, it's kind of weird. I don't know why this collection lawyer is calling me, because I wasn't at that time defending people sued by a debt collector. I was suing debt collectors. So he calls me and he says, I want you to represent me. I said, well, look, I don't represent debt collectors. I sue debt collectors. He goes, no. I want you to represent me because I'm going to sue another debt collector. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, I've had this client for years, maybe a decade or more. And there's a rule under the FDCPA when you send out the first communication, either in that first communication or within 5 days, you have to send what's called the 1692G validation notice. And that says, hey, we're attempting to collect the debt. You have 30 days to dispute. Otherwise, we'll assume it's valid. We'll verify the debt if you ask us in writing. So, okay, all that sort of stuff. And he said, I've been doing that for my client because that's what the law says. But this new lawyer has come along and he told my client, that this old guy gives them 30 days. I'll just give them 10 days or 14 or something like that. And so he lost all the business. And he goes, that's outrageous. He's breaking the law. I want to sue him. Like, well, actually, the FDCPA, we need a consumer that's received that bogus notice, and then they can sue. But it does bring up a good point. The FDCPA says it's to stop abusive debt collection and to protect those debt collectors that follow the law from being at a competitive disadvantage. So this is sort of the boundary, okay, of the FDCPA. Here's one edge, here's the other edge. And you have debt collectors over here. Well, they're outside the boundary. And so they're harming consumers and they're being unfair to other debt collectors. But what happens is you sue a debt collector and they go, yeah, okay, I went outside the bounds a little bit, but it's no big deal. I shouldn't be sued over this. But there has to be a boundary, okay? So we have deadlines. A deadline to file an appeal. You go 1 minute past that, it's too late. We have our credit card, and it says your payment's due by, let's say, the 1st, and if you don't pay it by, the 15th, then we hit you with this $50 late fee. Well, what if I pay it at 12:01 a.m. the next day? Seriously, what difference does it make? They go, well, look, but these were the rules. This is the contract. You went outside of it. Now you have to pay that $50 fee. What if I have a $2,000 credit limit and I actually accidentally go to $2,001? And they go, boom, $39 over the limit fee. And I can say, well, that's not fair. I wish you hadn't have done that. But can I really fuss about that? I mean, the rule was $2,000. I went above that. So I get hit with that charge. Same thing when these debt collectors break the law. They know that they can be sued. And the law is set up so that you will sue, because that's the only thing that keeps these guys in compliance, is when they have to pay out money. So is it wrong to sue a debt collector? Absolutely not, assuming they have broken the law. Is it wrong for a debt collector to sue me to collect a debt? No, as long as they follow the law. I mean, I may not like it. I may not be happy about it, but they can do that. But the reverse is true, right? When I sue a debt collector because they break the law, they may not be happy about it, but they can hardly complain it's unfair. They knew what the rules were. They knew what the laws were. And what you find is really this hypocritical attitude among the abusive debt collectors. I'm not talking about the honorable debt collectors that follow the law, but the abusive debt collectors that break the law. What they really are saying is there's one set of rules for me and another set for thee. See, what the collectors say is, I get to sue you if you violate the contract or if you don't pay back this debt, and that's fair game. But you can't sue me because, I don't know, I disagree with the FDCPA. Well, what if the consumer disagrees with the statute of limitation for a credit card debt being 3 years in Alabama? It's only 1 year to sue under the FDCPA. I don't like it being 3 years. Well, that's the law. So I can be sued at 2 years, 11 months, and 30 days, okay? So the point is, these debt collectors that get upset about being sued in a legitimate lawsuit where the FDCPA or the Fair Credit Reporting Act has actually been violated, it's really this arrogant, hypocritical thing. You know, it's like somebody saying, everybody on the plane has to wear a mask. And I want that enforced, but I'm not going to wear one because I don't want to. Well, whatever you think about masks, I think we all agree, that's hypocritical. You know, it's if you remember Animal Farm from school, the animals take over and there's this sign written. I mean, I read this in high school, but I think my memory's right, that says all animals are equal. And then some of the animals point out, I think it was the pigs, were like not being equal. They had all this special treatment. So they added to the sign, all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. Well, that's what abusive debt collectors want to be. They said, we want to sue you when we have the legal right to do that, but I don't want you to be able to sue me when you have the legal right. That's outrageous. I think that ought to be stopped, and I want to attack you or attack the lawyers that bring these cases. It's just hypocrisy and arrogance. So, you know what changes that? Is when they get sued, and they get sued, and they get sued over and over, and they have to keep paying out money and keep paying out money. Now, look, the big ones have insurance policies, but they have a deductible, and the more they get sued, and the more that insurance pays out, the more the insurance company starts looking at them saying, boys, it looks like we got a problem here. We're going to have to raise your premiums. And ultimately, money is the only thing that will change an abusive debt collector into a law-abiding, honorable debt collector. When it's so expensive to break the law that they go, whoa, 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 we're losing money breaking the law. We don't mind breaking the law, but we want to make money doing it. We're not going to break the law and lose money. No. We're not going to do that. That's when you get change. So if you are dealing with a debt collector that's breaking the law, don't ever let anybody tell you that somehow it's wrong to sue them just because you owe the money. No. Has nothing to do. You owe the money, you don't owe the money. If they violate the law, I would look at suing them and making them pay whatever they need to pay based on your damages, their conduct, and those sorts of things. So, appreciate you watching this video, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.